So it's nearly Christmas. So what did we watch?
Batman: The Long Halloween.
Of course we did. It's a 2-part animated DC.
Long awaited, apparently, by the fan base.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Very long awaited, yes.
So it's a 2-parter animated. It's like an hour and a half a piece. This year produced 2021, brand spanking new.
Absolutely brand spanking new.
And it tells the story of horrible murders happening in Gotham City, and they all are on a national U.S. holiday or associated with the national U.S. holiday. And Batman with Captain Gordon, not Commissioner Gordon, Captain Gordon and the DA Harvey Dent and Catwoman, and they investigate and trouble happens.
Trouble happens. It starts on Halloween and it goes through various holidays.
It goes through the entire year of holidays
until we end up at Halloween again.
Yeah. I think it's solved by the time it's actually Halloween.
Yeah.
So this is going to be spoilers in this thing. It
says here it's also known as Holiday Killer.
No, the killer is it was nicknamed Holiday Killer.
Oh,
they have to give the killer a name.
Well, because we don't remember names, we got here Falcone crime family versus the Maroni crime family.
Yeah, that's a subplot that also runs through because quite a few of the victims are associated with either one or other family.
Yeah.
And so they think for a while that one or the other family...
They think they're warring against each other. However...
It turns out to be somebody completely different, which I don't want to give away.
We don't need to spoil that.
No.
We don't need to spoil that. However, we have Jensen Ackles as the voice of Batman and Bruce Wayne. We got Josh Duhamel, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, as Harvey Dent. We got Naya Rivera as Catwoman, also Selina Kyle.
Which is her other name, yes.
And Troy Baker as the Joker, also known as Anthony.
I think that's another role. I don't remember.
Possibly he does 2 roles.
Which is very normal in voice acting.
Yeah, because the Joker just ran around being the Joker.
Yeah, he didn't have a really big role. No.
And Billy Burke as Commissioner Gordon,
which is actually Captain Gordon.
Captain Gordon in this one. I'm a Jensen Ackles fan, so
that's why we're here. That's why we're here today.
That's literally why we're here. But all the voice work was done like way before. So I would say, a year and a half, 2 years before. And since then, it's been interesting to wait for what this is, because I'm not at all a Batman person. I don't follow Batman. I don't read the comics. I don't watch the movies. I've seen flashes here and there over the decades. That's about it. So this may have been my first comprehensive Batman ever. I even saw the old series way back when. It was like,
I have seen some other DC animated films for more recent stuff. Not specifically Batman, because he's not specifically what I'm interested in. I do know that for the Batman, the animated Batman series, there was a series in the 1990s, and it was everybody still raves about that.
I hear people.
So a lot of whatever they make in animated now that's Batman related is going to be somehow related to that, the looks at least. And I think it looks wonderful. The animation was beautiful. The art, the framings and stuff like that, and the choices, they were wonderful. No issue with that.
Beautifully done.
I had an issue with the pace of especially the first. The second one picked up, but the first was so slow.
Lots of mood settings.
Yeah, and I think because this is actually based on a set of comics, which has been turned into another cartoon show as well. I haven't seen it. There is enough in the set of comics to pack the two films, but they were not. They were very moody, and then an event happened, a murder and stuff around it happened, and then there was some moodiness. It was better in the second half. It looked a little bit like they made a script that was going to be about 2 hours, and then they realized we can't put 2 hours in an hour and a half because you don't have enough room. But to put it in 3 hours, you have too much room. So I think that may have been an issue. That's what it looks like. That's why the first part was fairly empty.
I thought it was more like they wanted to really get the feel and the mood, the lighting and the not camera angles, the the shots. This is the kind of animation where things are standing still for a long time as well. It's not a huge amount of flat. I mean, it's not Disney.
Yeah, but I have to say that kind of animation, when you used to watch it in the 1980s, that they don't do that anymore. They try not to do that anymore because people get bored. I was bored in the first episode. It's only because we had the 2 episodes to watch that we stuck with it. But I was bored.
I would have watched it anyway. It's Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, okay. and the voice work, I understand it was Jensen Ackles, but it's because you told me it was Jensen Ackles. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Because the way he has to twist his voice as Batman.
Yeah, he does a Batman voice. Yeah,
he could have been anyone. So
he's
that
Batman. He's Batman. So
maybe that's
the same thing with the Joker. Yes, it matters who plays the Joker, but it has to be the Joker.
Yeah.
You have to sell the Joker.
Yeah, and that's the other Batman thing that I did see, because the Joker was played by Michael Emerson, and he's very good, but they left him no chance to actually do anything, because he can be really good, but there was no space.
And here there was too much space.
Yes, but they didn't fill it up with Jensen Ackles. They should have done that, but they didn't. They filled it up with emptiness.
Yeah. Well, I have very little opinion on it other than that this is not the thing I would normally watch, and I watch it quite happily for Jensen and call it an interesting experience.
Yeah. I have seen, like I said, I've seen some of these animated movies, and this one was not the bestest one because of the pacing. I think if they'd done a little bit more action, because these murders are full of action and events, and it's not there. If it had been tighter done, like lose half an hour of footage somewhere. I do believe there's actually a compiled version coming out, so maybe that will fix this problem. If it picks up the pace, because there's a lot going on. There's the Harvey Dent's his home life. He gets completely in the middle of this thing. Those 2 crime families. Then there's Batman and Catwoman have a thing going, which is interesting. And there's a single plot with Poison Ivy, who's always interesting if Poison Ivy comes up, because she always messes up stuff royally. So that was interesting. But I would have liked to have that bit run a little longer and a little bit less on the moodiness.
I think that was definitely the intent, even though I don't know most of these characters. Obviously I know Catwoman and the Joker, but Poison Ivy I would barely know anything about it. But it seemed to me from the perspective of somebody who doesn't follow this, is like, oh okay, there's this character and clearly everybody knows, so they really want to revel in the fact that the character is there.
They were all the characters that were considered suspects at some point. All like 6 or 7 investigations about 6 or 7 murders. All these characters are characters that are known in this universe. The Scarecrow and all those characters, but they were on screen so very little. Yeah, I think this. I would like to actually see that animated series they did of it and see if it's better there.
Yeah, I've been hearing for years it's awesome and you should watch it.
No, not the Batman, the 1990s Batman, but the animated series that belongs to the long Halloween. There's a dedicated series which is quite recently. I'm not quite sure where they're putting out a film version of it. Where there's the animated version is like maybe 5 years old or something like that. I'll put the date on later.
Well, my information I had was that it has never actually been done before. So,
well, that's not what.
It's like really a long time coming is what.
That's not what the wiki said. So
okay. I get my information from watching supernatural conventions. So that's not really the best source.
I'm sure they know lots about supernatural. Like I said, I'm gonna re-look it up and put the information all over my face when in the post.
I enjoyed the Batman and Alfred
banter. Yeah, that was good.
The scenes. I enjoyed close-ups of like Batman's eyes and go, they're green. Because Jensen's eyes are green. I don't know if Batman's eyes are green. I don't know if there's a canon of that. But that pleased me. Yeah, and the Batman Catwoman scenes.
Oh, that was nice.
As far as I'm concerned, that could have been... that was beautifully splattered through the entire thing. And kept coming back to it. And, I ship it. Bring it on.
And I wouldn't have minded a little more about that. And then when Poison Ivy in the plot, when Poison Ivy shows up, she enchants Bruce Wayne to become in love with her and sideline Catwoman. So you get an interesting dynamic which they don't do terrifically much with.
No.
Which is
and then
shame.
I think it's because it's a cartoon.
Yeah. Okay.
So they kind of have sort of on the surface love lives, but not real proper love lives.
Yeah. So I think it's worth seeing, but they need to do maybe a live action version would be awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Because it does have wonderful plots. That there's not as such. There's nothing wrong with the plots other than maybe do a little bit more with the murders themselves, and just they're sort of little vignettes all over the place, and it's a little bit like a bowl of marbles, all stuck together. A little bit more cohesion and some good casting. I wouldn't mind Jensen doing this in a live action. I'm sure he wouldn't mind that.
Probably most of the other actors, if we see them. You've got something interesting written down there.
Oh yeah, because I was looking at the Wikipedia page because I always make a little paper thingy with information on it, like who wrote stuff. I mean, this thing was written by Tim Sheridan and directed by Chris Palmer. In case we wanted to know that. Based on Batman: The Long Halloween, which was originally from 1996 by Jeb Loeb and Tim Sale. So there you go. But so I looked up in the Wikipedia for this stuff, and I found Batman. Batman was created by Bob Kane and written by Bill Finger in 1939. That's a long time ago. And he was probably based on Scarlet Pimpernel, which came out like
just at that time.
About 30 years earlier, and Zorro, which was like 20 years earlier than that. That kind of idea.
I could see a Zorro connection.
1939, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, yay.
Yeah, I mean, Superman is from around that time, slightly earlier.
Yeah. I like it. So he has his roots basically in this film noir 1930s idea of a rich businessman
with an alter ego. So that's the
Zorro
thing.
Scarlet Pimpernel,
and then
Zorro.
You got the Zorro mask.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our opinion.
That's our opinion.
That's our opinion.
And some facts. Interspersed with some facts.
So,
that's it.
That's it.
Bye.